I'm Monica.
And I'm Mans.
Welcome to Bras Off, Walls Down, a space where women share their real, raw, and unfiltered stories.
No topics off limits. No story too big or too small.
Let's get into it.
All right, welcome back to the podcast. We have a special guest today. Monica, would you like to introduce our special guest today?
I'm Krystal. Hi, that's very Krystal. We're going to get you on today because we want to talk about FIFO life.
Krystal, you work FIFO. Tell us a little bit about yourself before we jump into FIFO life.
Cool. My name is Krystal. I am 26 years old and I started FIFO, what has it been, 3 years now? I think it's been 3 years.
Must feel like a long time.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weeks of that.
Yeah. But I have a nice swing though. I can't complain about it. I only do 1 week on, 1 week off, so it's not really it's not a bad thing, but yeah. So.
And how did you get into FIFO work?
Word of mouth. So my friend, they knew that they were looking for another female with no experience, and she said that she has a friend that is interested. So yeah, I went through with her and we talked about it and whatnot, and they got in contact with me, and that's how it started. But yes, I had already put out the interest beforehand, before she had contacted me and said, oh, there's a position for you. But that's how it started. So yes.
And what were the sort of feelings leading up to this? Were you excited, apprehensive? You know, there's so many things you hear about FIFO work that can either really excite you or really put you off. How were you feeling sort of on the lead up to this sort of position?
On the lead up, it was hard for me because at my old job, I had just taken on a new role at my old job. And that was a new and exciting role for me at the time. And then it came within like 2 weeks of me taking this new role. So I was actually quite apprehensive at the start because I didn't want to upset people. I didn't want to let other people down. I'd been with the other company for a while, worked my way up there. So I was apprehensive, but at the end of the day, that's what I wanted to do. That's where I wanted to go. I had a plan, and unfortunately it is hard to get into FIFO, and I just knew that like I wouldn't get another experience like that. So a little bit of me was like, oh, do I take it? A little part of me was like, what are you doing? Absolutely take it. So, on the lead up, it was very much unsure, uncertainty, but, you know, back and forth conversations with the head office and stuff like that was definitely helpful. So, yeah.
Yeah. And what's your current role? What does a typical day on site look like for you?
So I am a fixed plant operator.
Or in our terms?
In our terms, like a glorified TA, like a trade assistant is probably the easiest way to explain it. My day-to-day is, you know, wake up at 3:30 to 4 a.m. On day shift. I don't go to the gym before work on day shift. Get ready very slowly, very slowly. Very slowly get ready. It's like one limb at a time out of the bed. And it takes me about 30 minutes to put clothes on.
Not surprised.
Morning.
Function at that time in the morning.
And then it is, 4:30 to the what we call a mess, which is a dining hall, essentially. Breakfast, set up my lunch for the days, and then we're on a bus at 5:10 straight off to work. And from 5:30... work time for 12 hours. Out in the heat, out in the cold, whatever you will, for 12 hours a day. And then, it's a bit of a blur in the middle of the day, honestly. And if I'm going to be honest, it's like you get to work the first 4 hours of the shift, it's like gone.
I was just thinking, when you said 12 hours, I was like, when I was back working for someone else, 8 hours felt like the longest thing in the world. When you said 12, I was like, oh, I would check out after about 6, and that's only halfway through the day.
Check out after 2.
I actually will comment on that because I was working 8-hour shifts, but obviously beforehand, 8 hours feels longer than 12 hours.
Really?
Yeah. It was the one thing that shocked me as soon as I got there. I was very worried about going from, you know, my glitz and glam job to waking up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning and then chucking my hair in a bun and putting bright orange clothes on.
So not let you wear the bright pink ones because I've thought about that. So I was like, I want to wear the pink ones.
They do let you. You can get them. I will not be caught dead. Pebble. No. But yeah.
Well, what about night shift? Because there's that as well.
Okay, so night shift is a different routine. Night shift, I am like this whole other person. I'm like the most organised lady in life, honestly. I wake up at 2 o'clock.
Energy?
Yeah. Oh, so much energy on night shift.
2 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yeah, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I get up at 2. I go to the gym for an hour and a half. I come back. I lay on my bed in the aircon because it's like 40 degrees, ain't it? I lay on my bed for like 10, 15, have a shower and do all my like little routine, my skincare routine, everything before I go to work. I put my clothes on, 4:30, I go to the mess or the dining hall, if you will, and then the same routine from there to work.
Yeah.
But just night shift is a lot easier because it's already in the middle of the day.
How do you find sleeping during the day? Because this is the thing that I think about. I'm like, I can't even nap during the day. Like, how do you
go to sleep?
Changing in between the shifts and actually training your body to sleep during the day? Was it something that was hard or?
Initially, yes. And still to this day, even though it's been 3 years, still to this day, the first 2 days, don't talk to me.
It's good to know.
I am like the most just unhinged, just a mess. I'm a mess for the first 2 days, but leading up to going to work when I'm at home, I start to stay up until 12 o'clock at night, every night. So I am very tired at home, but just so my body clock isn't so surprised by going in, because by the time that we fly in, I fly in about 2 o'clock and have to go to work at 5 o'clock that night. But I've also been awake since 11 o'clock the day, like that day before. So it's a long stint to be awake for. But that also helps with the fact that I'm so exhausted that I literally see my bed and I'm like,
yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just out.
Even you coming home from day shift and coming home from night shift, it is so different to see. After day shift, I'm like, I don't know, I want to know her. But when she's back from night shift, I'm like, oh, Krystal's home. Let's pick her up the apple. She's going to be the
for a few weeks. You know, like time it. So each swing, do you do like we do day one swing and night one swing, or do you switch?
Yeah, so it's day, night, dawn, night, day, night, however you wish. But yes, just one per swing. So
okay,
I go up on day shift, come back, and then it'll be up on night shift. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say it's such, because I know some people that have a longer swing will sort of swap.
Yeah, they do a shift change in between.
If you're doing 1 week, I was like, that'd be a nightmare trying to do that to everybody in one.
I take my hat off to people to do it, because I've had to stay back a couple of times and I've had to shift change, and oh my lord, not. Yeah.
And what's the biggest thing that surprised you about FIFO life?
Probably how family orientated it actually is.
When you're actually on site?
Yeah. So I was, being a woman, very nervous going up. Never had a bad experience with men. I grew up with a lot of men. I was used to that kind of attitude that I expected. So that was fine. But going up, everyone was very hesitant. I think the times have changed, so women in mining is a bit different nowadays, but I think most women who are going into mining could probably vouch for the same thing, that you just think that it's going to be like this sexist, like disgusting place. That was not my experience. There's probably still places that are like that, but personally that was not my experience. They were so welcoming, and to this day, like, I still cannot believe that, like, I go up on site and I've got like a 64-year-old best friend.
That's so
cute. What? Like, yes.
Male or female?
Male.
No, yeah.
I only have males on my crew.
That was the next question I was going to ask. What would you say the ratio is of men to women?
Look, at one point, because I've obviously been there for a while, at one point we actually had 4 females and 3 men. Which was yeah, and we laughed about it because we were like, oh my god, you would never see that, you just wouldn't. But the ratio it's not too bad. Like, I would say we probably have about 300, 400 people. We've got quite a small mine site. There's probably about 20 to 30 women in total on the entire like admin, underground, up on the plant, like as a whole. There is a girl on every crew that in the field that I specifically work in. So that's pretty good odds. It doesn't sound like very good odds considering there's like 7 to 8 people in a team, but there is a girl on every crew, which is pretty good odds. And for about a year and a half, I had a girl on my crew, so there was 2 of us. So again, it's not really heard of, I suppose.
Yeah, is that something that they push for and recruit for specifically? Like, okay, we need a female on this team, or is it something if the female comes along?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
So they definitely have. I'm not going to call it statistics because it probably isn't, but it is something that they try and make sure that they've got.
They get incentive. Most companies get incentive to hire.
But they also just get push as well from it. They, you know, like you said, they would have some form of something in place, but there is females, thank God. I think I'd lose my mind.
And FIFO work is often portrayed as like either super tough or super rewarding. Like you hear both sides, especially with access to social media now. You see so many different things. What is the reality for you?
It is overglorified. I will just say that. I'm going to be honest. I think I do see a lot of the females that go on social media with it and the jobs that they hold. You would never see my job on that because nobody would. You would look at my job, and whilst I actually really enjoy my job, and a lot of people do, it would never be glorified like what you see on the internet. And that's just my experience personally. But yeah, it's hard yards. It's 45-degree heat from like
20,000 steps.
I climb like 50 floors a day, and it's 45 degrees, and it's like, you know,
You're getting covered in shit.
Yeah, raining, too bad. Get out there. Thunder though, we all love thunder and lightning because it means if it goes, we have like a traffic light system. So if it's like a red alert, nobody's allowed on the planet. Oh. So we're always like, I like mastered the voice of the lady that goes over the radio because I'm like, warning, red lightning alert. And everyone's like, Krystal. I'm like, sorry. But no, yeah, it is, rain, hail, shine kind of thing. 12 hours a day. It can be 38 degrees at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's not it. Like, it's not, you just wouldn't glorify my job specifically, but there are jobs up there that, like, you know, people are in air conditioned all the time and they're in machinery and stuff, so they have their regular breaks and all of that kind of stuff. My job's not really like that at all. You get your breaks. I'm not going to say it's the worst job in the world. I don't want people to get the wrong idea, but definitely polar opposite to probably what you see on social media.
Yeah. And that's the thing was, you know, a quick side note on that is, you know, social media these days can glorify so many things. You know, there's FS workers that are just, and then you look at these young girls that are like idolizing these people that work in the sex industry, counting out their cash. So it is, you know, good to see the other side.
Yeah, you need to know that. If you're going to see those fun things, you've got to see the other side as well, just to make it honest.
I see
one thing and go, oh, that's what it's like. Yeah. You've got to see both sides.
Oh, 100%. I see the appeal to FIFO, 100%. I'm very, you know, I don't care about money. I'm not like a weirdo like that. Well, not a widow, but you know what I mean? I would never boast about the money I earn because, quite frankly, I work really hard. I do 90 hours in 1 week to get that money. So I would never boast about it. But yes, I understand the appeal on that side of things. But I think that's where the mental side of things goes down because people start to drink and they start to waste their money in ways that they didn't initially plan to.
Yeah.
So
because the mental side hasn't been looked after, so when they're home, the money gets you
splurge for temporary fixes because they can.
Yeah.
So
because FIFO life can take a toll mentally and physically. So how do you look after yourself?
Routine is incredibly important. I think as well, socially, you need to try and, like, even if drinking is not your thing or whatever, just sitting outside and going to, like, other places are different. For us, we all sit outside our rooms and we just have a debrief kind of thing at the end of the day. Only on day shift. Night shift, don't, like, we all just go to bed. And no one sees anybody. We go to sleep. But day shift, you'll probably find most of the guys outside their rooms having a drink after work. So actually just including yourself in that conversation is very important, I feel, because you are having social interaction that's got nothing to do with work.
Yeah.
You are having a conversation, an adult conversation with somebody, but you still have, like, I'm going to go to bed by this time because, you know, this person might get up and go to the gym. So making you're sure that your focus is actually on yourself and you're making sure that your priorities are met is very important. Like, I have to go to the gym. If I don't go to the gym, I'll just sit there and then I'm like tired and lethargic and I've got no routine. Everything goes out the window. So routine is very important up there for me personally, but I presume a lot of people would be the same. Yeah, day in, day out. You see the same people walk past every day. It's a big thing. It's, yeah, like clockwork. Like, even washing days, you wash your clothes, you'll see the same people will wash their clothes on a Monday and a Wednesday. So it's very routine.
Not routine when you get home as well.
Yeah, it does help. I can't let myself slip at home either. If I slip at home, I take it up there with me. It's just, you get out of a cycle, and that's where I think a lot of mental issues come from as well. Being up there, you're being so secluded, and coming back to the social media sides of things, different jobs, people have access to the internet, other people do not. So if you want to chat to your family, you can't when you're at work for the 12 hours. I personally can't. We have Wi-Fi, but it's not great. But, you know, you're kind of just doom scrolling on your lunch breaks and stuff like that. And then there's the other people that are like showing their lifestyle at the camp and what they do and stuff. That is not the reality for some other people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's hard, but it's manageable as long as you know that it is such a draining place and that you know that you are feeling isolated. As long as you acknowledge that you feel like that. I think a lot of people sweep it under the carpet, and a lot of men, being men, just not wanting to talk about their feelings. I think, like, that's probably a big thing, is it's just like actually acknowledging the fact that you are so secluded from anything, making sure that you have the social, and also make sure that you physically doing something. You don't have to go to the gym or something, but some form of routine, just going to move your body that's got nothing to do with work is super important.
Does it feel like, you know, when you're got a normal 9-to-5 job, not FIFO, you come home from work, you take off your, I was going to say school uniform then. That's like, take off your school uniform. I hate learning what people tell me. You take off your school or work uniform and you put your slippers on, you're like, thank fuck that day's done. And then you can relax and completely forget about work. Does that feel completely different when you're up there on a swing? Do you feel like you're just stuck in work mode the whole time?
You do, because of the room. The rooms aren't the worst. Go, because it's probably
your own room. Like, you can take up a photo frame of mum and dad and put it there, or when your swing changes, are you sharing rooms?
Yeah, so everyone will share their rooms. Some people have permanent rooms. So I have a permanent room. I work directly for the company. So I have a permanent room. I'm very lucky in that aspect. So I can take all my toiletries. I don't have to move anything.
Okay.
My back-to-back, on our site specifically, they will make sure a female has a female back-to-back, which is very nice.
So you're sharing a room with
female. So you are sharing a room with a female, but they will never be up there when you're there.
Right.
So you can take your photo frames and you can decorate and you can do what you want. Just if you're not close or you're not aware of the person that is your back-to-back, or you're not familiar with them, that's when you would probably pop your stuff away.
Because you've got locks on drawers and stuff.
Yeah, we have locks on our things. I mean, I don't have to lock all my stuff. I love that. I literally went to Kmart yesterday and bought a shower caddy and a thick mattress topper, because I know that my back-to-back is so clean and I can leave everything out. She uses my stuff. We share the same washing basket. Like,
To leave each other cute notes.
Yeah, I bought her stuff and I put it in we do this little thing where we put like snacks in the microwave for each other. So we come to work and it's like automatic. You open the microwave and you'll see like popcorn or a little chocolate, or even just like sometimes like I bought a heat pack, so I put the heat back in there. I was like, guess what I bought? So yeah,
That's cute.
yeah.
And it gives you something to look forward to, and doing something nice for someone else always makes you feel good as well.
Yeah.
But I think as well that coming back to like you feeling homely and whatnot, that makes it a big difference as well. Otherwise, you are just stuck in this room of cream walls, cream floor, cream walls, so thin that you can hear the person breathing next to you. Like,
Almost.
yeah,
Almost, yeah.
yeah. Man.
So, what is the craziest thing you've seen? What's the craziest FIFO story that you have?
Oh, that's a tough one. It's probably the acid spill that I witnessed.
I thought you were about to say that
That I just drowned myself in. Because I work directly with very heavy chemicals. I never, you hear acid. It's a terrible chemical, You hear about it. You don't know what it actually does when it hits the floor. Holy crap. It burst and it was going everywhere, and we have a section of a plant called the control room where you control the entire plant. And I was in there, and we have cameras on all of bits of the plant so you can sort of move them and see things. And someone's like, stop the acid pump. I was like, like stressing out. I was like, what is going on? Like, acid, don't fuck around with that. Sorry for swearing.
You're fine.
And I turn the camera and I look, and honestly, I have never been so stressed in my life because there was people running around everywhere, and it looked like, when you start a fire with wet and the smoke is so thick, with wet wood, and it's so thick, that was what it was like. The entire section of this acid place was just covered in this, and people are running in it. I'm like, don't, that's acid. Don't run through that smoke, please. You've got no,
Oh my god.
Okay.
yeah, everything was okay, but I didn't realise that that's what acid would react like when it hits paint or like a metal tray, or like it went everywhere, and like it touched the rocks on the floor, and the rocks were like bubbling. And like it was stressful. Like it's like I didn't, and I worked with this stuff. I was like, right. I don't like going over there. I still to this day, if I go into the acid area, I am like, copy Ed. You're coming with me. I'm not going there by myself. I am not going over there by myself. I am terrified of it. It sounds so. It doesn't sound that crazy when you think about it, but it's scarred me. Like I'm so, and I wasn't even near it. I was in a room, in an aircon room, watching on a camera, watching everyone run around like little ants.
It's not something you witness every day, though.
No.
And even though you're aware of it, it's part of your job. Those sorts of things you don't see, so it can be
We're also all trained in cyanide awareness. So like when we get a cyanide delivery with on the floor, we have like we call it Oxyviva, and it's oxygen to revive them.
Oh my god.
Like it's scary. It's very scary stuff.
God.
Now, maybe the most important question for me, very, very serious. What's the food like?
It's like, wait, I was not expecting.
Okay. So
It's all about the food, right?
Yeah.
the food comes in waves. It is really awesome. Like we have some chefs in there who worked on cruise ships, so they're all about the presentation, and like I've come in and we've had like this chip bowl flowing out with chips and stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm at work, like I'm not used to this. And then it's fabulous and really nice and flavorful, and everything's cooked well, and then we have slop.
Oh.
And do you pack your lunch from the mess hall?
Yeah, so very much like a budgeted version of Epicurean. Like you have your hot bain marie and you have your cold bain marie. So all your cold bain marie is like you've got meats and salads and like fruit, cheese, like everything to make like sandwiches, a salad. They'll have like leftovers, so they'll have like if you had spaghetti bog the night before, they'll have them packaged up in containers and stuff. So
okay, I was just about to ask if you take much so if they...
And our site, very nice. They are no plastic, so they're all packaged up in little bamboo little things, or you can take it straight from the bain marie yourself. But everybody has plastic containers, reusable plastic containers. But the food is okay. If the lady or man, whoever does it, is good and is onto it, they will go through the menu. They do like seasonal menus, and then you kind of have the same shit over and over again. Like I had pork roast 4 times in a week. I was there for 6 days.
Oh wow.
7 days, and I was like, I don't want to eat pork roast anymore.
I'm done.
Can I just give me a steak? But you can order a steak. So if the food is that is presented, if you don't like it, you can order a steak or a fish. Or there's always chicken in the cold bain marie. There's microwaves in the mess and stuff like that you can heat up other stuff. Always chicken and rice. There's always chicken and rice.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah. And they have lots of sauces. So Sriracha's my best mate.
And for any other women out there that are, they're attracted to the FIFO either job or lifestyle, or maybe the income is, appealing, because I think, from my point of view, that's probably the thing that would attract most people. Yeah. It's not everyone goes, oh, I'd love to spend a week away from home.
Yeah. And 90 hours in one home.
And wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and work for 12 hours and eat breakfast for 3 hours. So for any women that are looking at getting into FIFO work for whatever reason it is, what advice would you give them?
The first one would be plan it. And I don't mean just go, okay, I have a savings goal of this. Plan why and when and how long you are going to be in FIFO, because I'm sorry, no one is working FIFO for their whole lives. It is ridiculous. You can't. You just can't. You'll be like a robot. So planning, setting up a savings plan. I would also recommend seeing an accountant or a financial advisor, so that you stick to those goals, which sounds really deep and very far-fetched, but it is important.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely.
only going up there for 2 years or 3 years, so that would
say that.
Yes, and then they don't, and then they never leave.
So they just drag on and on.
Yeah,
and they just keep. You live the lifestyle that you just have to fight.
Yeah,
I guess
100%.
if you don't put the financial stuff in place, the whole reason for going up there in the end, you might get you 2 years done and not have the savings you expected to anyway.
So you're just sustaining your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Around your money,
But that would be, my number 1 goal. Number 2 goal would be actually research the job you're going into or the job you're looking at doing. Try and find somebody that you may know that does different jobs in FIFO. Actually look up that job. Make sure it's something that you want to do, because you are spending 12 hours doing it and you have no choice. They don't offer flights every day. So if you are not into it, you're still going to be stuck there for the week. So make sure that you're researching what you're doing or what you're wanting to go into doing would be my other advice. And my last piece of advice is don't be scared. That's probably the biggest one. It's not what it seems, and yes, there's a lot of men, but I think if you've got your backbone, you've got yourself, you've got a routine, you've got yourself a good plan, all of that kind of stuff, people aren't as scary up there. You actually make some really good friends, and I would say probably lifelong friends as well. They're up there, so it's not so scary.
It'd be quite a bonding experience going through something like that. Yeah.
So that's probably would be my advice.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wonderful. No, I'm genuinely so interested in FIFO life. I could never do it myself. So, so it's been so great chatting to you.
Yeah.
To know a little bit more. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I'll see you next time. If you've got a conversation that you want to have, if you want to ask more questions about FIFO life, we can hit Krystal up and we can ask. If you want to jump on our community episode, let us know. We'd love to chat. Everyday women.
It's fun.
Everyday stories.
It's really fun.
It's a good experience.
It's just like a little chit chat.
Yeah.
Exactly. Awesome. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next episode.
Bye.
Okay, we've got a couple of bonus questions.
Falling off my chair. Sorry.
Yes, you should be. We've got a couple of bonus questions just for our Instagram followers because I thought after we finished the episode, I thought of a few more and I thought these would be really good ones because they're actually things that are just in everyday life. So it'd be interesting to hear what they're like for actual FIFO life too. So one of them being someone, where are they? I have endo and periods for me, I don't have them anymore. I've had a hysterectomy, but periods were a nightmare. How do you go if you're on site with things that are like period and like sick days and things like that? Can you call it sick? Is this something you can actually do?
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. They have a medic on site always, and they stock everything. They have so many medications and stuff. So if Panadol and your friend's not cutting it, they've got a fancy tablet called Maxigesic. I don't know if you've never heard of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's normal behaviour. Like there's been times where I've had zero sleep because I've been up with pain or whatever. You just send a message to probably your direct line of contact. So like my boss, my supervisor, hey, not feeling well, blah, blah, blah. I'm probably not going to come in today or I just want to see the medic before I come into work. Yeah. And they will come to your room or you can opt to go to work and the medic is on site. So you can actually go there and then they can decipher if they're going to take you back to your room or you can have like, an hour or so to just chill out and see how you go.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then just like normal work, that's just considered you get paid as a sick day for that? Yeah.
Yeah. They do a little sneaky thing. If people feel sick, it annoys me, but if you work half a shift, they'll pay you for the whole day. If you go home sick after that. Sneaky. Don't tell anyone that.
Tell everyone.
We'll just get that between us.
If you're going to go along that route, I probably would say the hygiene up there is probably a question that females probably need to know about.
Cool. Fire away.
Okay, so the water up on sites is filtered through the site itself. So it will strip everything, absolutely everything out of the water. They use chemicals to strip the water, to clean it, to make sure it comes back to being potable. It is dry. It's got no calciums. It's got no chlorines. It's got nothing in it. It's all, just put in by themselves. It's absolutely completely stripped. This is really TMI, and I've seen this a lot of on a lot of mining pages. Your little lady down there can start to stink. So hygiene is really big up there. I would, consult with your doctor or anything, find out your pH balances and whatnot. If you need to take like a FemFresh or I know that they do that, the spray and stuff like that. Yeah. The wipes. I always have wipes in my bag. And another thing is just always have tampons and pads with you forever because they will stock them if there's an emergency. But I know some people are allergic to, or not allergic, but they react to different brands. So just make sure that you have got, like I've got like 50 tampons in my crib bag and pads. And then at the end of each swing, I actually just fill up the box that we have in the girls' toilet. Yeah. We all just kind of put in there like a community thing.
That's nice. And
we chuck them in there and then I just bring some more up with me. I've got some in my room or whatnot. But hygiene is crazy. You can get filtered shower heads and stuff like that. Yeah. If that's something you want to do, you do have to go through the plumber, on-site plumber. But metal detox shampoo and conditioner, this is like so like far-fetched, but it's serious. Yeah. Big tub of moisturizer. Just you more than you do at home. You need your routine because you will.
And self-care.
Oh man, yeah, it's big.
The last thing you want to do when you're feeling tired and shit coming home is, because we all know when you look good, you feel
Yeah.
it, right? So if you come home with dry skin, your hair's fucking shit in the shower, and then you're wondering what's going on downstairs, it's just the last thing you lose.
So if there is anybody who's listening who is FIFO and they're wondering why possibly things are smelling, you are in work pants for 12 hours that are terrible and they are horrible. That is no good. You've got no breathing, so no good. So
Is it something that you actually are quite conscious of as well? It's like the underwear that you wear then all day?
Yep. So, as I said, you're sweating. It's bound to happen. I mean, it is what it is, like, at the end of the day. But just, you know, be conscious, be ready for anything like that. Take some wipes up, even if it's just, like, the flushable wipes or, like, you know, just baby wipes to throw away or whatever is always a good thing, especially during summer and stuff like that. You're sweating. It's going to happen. So just really, the hygiene is very important. And just don't stress if things happen. Like, I've spoken to so many girls on my site and they've come up and they're like, do you experience this? Like, and so embarrassed to talk about it. Don't be embarrassed to talk about it. Again, you're working for 12 hours, you're in terrible pants and it's hot. It's not unnormal. The water's fucking terrible. Like, it's fine. But that's probably one thing.
Yeah. People would know. And the booklet of FIFO.
No, they don't. But yeah, really focus on, I know that people only have 10 kilos to take with them and stuff like that, but in that 10 kilos, I would be making sure that you have moisturizer, a good hair shampoo and conditioner. If you need a fresh wash or whatnot, see how you go at the start, but just be prepared. Like, take it with you, just so you don't have to fall short and deal with the rest of your swing like that, because it takes a bit of your womanhood away. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like the first thing I want to do when I come home is wear makeup, because you do feel like a man by the end of it. So, but you do though. So
you're in a masculine environment, you're surrounded by a lot of men. Yeah, completely understand. Maybe you can make us a little list for the listeners of things you would recommend.
Yeah, 100%
to take.
Yeah, things that you can start stocking up on if you do have a room. Yeah, like you have your own room there. Yes, you've only got 10 kilos, but each time you go up,
or they give you lockers. I should probably say that. If you don't have a permanent room, like I'm very privileged to have, if you don't have that, they do offer, all sites do this, it's not just a norm, like my thing or anything like that, but they do offer lockers for you, personal lockers for when you leave, so you can take the stuff out of the room that you're in and you can pop it away. So that's why I'm saying it's just a once-off thing. You know, keep on top of it. I take my own laundry detergent because that can also affect with your pants and stuff like that. So they just give you a generic laundry powder. And if you've got sensitive skin or anything like that, you're going to be itchy. You're also washing your clothes with people who work in diesel. So just think about that. Just
I could never.
Yeah. So
those sort of things are great for especially women. You know, men. Sometimes you chat to men, they're like, I've never washed my face. But for us, we never. So, if you can make us a little list.
Yeah, 100%.
Listeners, you know, if they're contemplating or about to take a FIFO job.
Do like a FIFO checklist.
100%. A women FIFO checklist. Awesome.
That's all my questions for you.
If you loved this episode, don't forget to hit follow or subscribe so you never miss a chat.
And we love seeing where you're listening. Tag us in your stories at Bras Off Walls Down and let us know your favourite takeaway.
Got a question or a topic you want us to cover? Slide into our DMs. We love hearing from you.
See you next time.